Hi there. If you're watching live, I'm Dr. Hillary Hushower. I am a chiropractor by most day, and by other day, I am a business coach. So this topic has been coming up a lot, and I wanted to kind of address like what we do in our office with my office managers, how I can help you with your office manager, and what do they do? Like, how do you know if you need one? When do you need it? That type of thing. It'll be brief. But when my clients coach with me, we talk about office managers, and that's just a really hot topic lately. So I am going to jump right in. I'm going to share with you what I look for in an office manager, like the duties, the requirements. I'm also going to share some bullet points of like what specifics we do in my office. I realize that you might not be a chiropractor or you might be a service professional. So some of these things will be like similar to you. I will try to answer comments, but I'm trying to make it kind of brief. We can always talk about this later, have a longer in depth. But I thought I'm going to tell you guys a little bit, a sneak peek inside of my office and my office manager. So I have a full time office manager. I also have an assistant office manager. So her duties are a little bit different, but they do kind of intertwine. So I realize it's a different scenario for everyone. But let me share my screen with you. So here is kind of my list, my description. So when I'm making like an ad for an office manager or I'm thinking about who I'm going to hire, this is what I look at. So a lot of this has been taken from different posts online and kind of created with my own. So like, what are they responsible for developing, streamlining, support, delegation, responsibilities? There's a lot. So I can always email you this list if you want it. Reach out to me. Happy to share this list. I know it's like detailed, but an office manager is a lot of different hats and a lot of different things. So the responsibilities of like maintenance of things, I always need IT help because I don't want to have to go and like restart computers, and I don't want to have to update computers because my time might be better spent doing something else. And maybe I don't want to hire an IT professional that's going to charge thousands of dollars just to run updates for me. So for me, my office manager does that. She's in charge of doing things like that, creating slides, managing contracts, prices, negotiation, checking my schedules and appointments to make sure like everything's smooth and running. Um, so operations and procedures. So we have binders of all of our operations and procedures. And if you don't have that in your office, that's also something I can help with as a business coach. But if someone picked up a binder for our office and procedures, they could run the individual jobs in our office. They could run payroll because it's written out how to do it. They could schedule patients. They could do everything. Everything is listed how to do it in order with logins. So if you don't have a binder that you can go and pull off the shelf and actually have for someone, that's something that's needed. And it took a lot to start. It's a little painstaking at first, but I can definitely help with templates and how to do that. So doing procedures, and then are you doing HIPAA things? Are you doing OSHA things every year? So we have specific binders for all that. Now we even have the COVID binder going out. So assigning and monitoring like the other staff, like who's doing that. That way your time could be more focused on something else. So as a chiropractor, like I want to just focus on my patients when I'm that chiropractor that day. I don't want to have to like make sure like all my staff's doing things and that they're doing stats or that they're helping take out trash, like all those little things. I just want to like give my full attention to my patients because I feel that makes me a better doctor. So my office manager helps coordinate all that type of stuff, and she's making sure that people do their checklist and the to-do lists. And we use ClickUp. Are all your ClickUps getting done for the day? She does that. So looking on orientation of new staff, training new staff, making sure that they have enough like guidance and coaching and financial like statistics, running statistics. Does your office manager tell you every day and midday how you're doing with your stats? Like I like to know how we're doing. I want to know like how our collection goals are doing and our patient visit goals, because that's what keeps me going throughout the day, like knowing where we are, also where we've been, knowing did she compare it from last month and last year, so you know where you're going to go. Like how do you know where you're going if you didn't know where you came from too. Office activities, or is your office manager doing things with staff? Like, are you doing like monthly potlucks? We do that at the office. So it's quick, it's cheap, people love it. Are you doing like quarterly big events with your staff? And even if it's just like you and like two other people, you still need to do these like team building type of things. Are you evaluating them? How often are you evaluating them? I don't want to spend a lot of time evaluating my staff anymore. I've done that, but my office manager does that on a quarterly basis. If it's newer, she does every 30 days. So that just takes that off my plate. Evaluations are lengthy and thorough in my office. So I don't want to invest an extra hour to do all that stuff and research about like where they were, what they need to be, grade them on that, have them grade themselves, go over it, have objective plans for the next few months. So office manager can do all that. That way your staff know like where they are, or more importantly, like what if they want to be at a different like salary level? What do they need to do to get there? So make sure that's all written out and they've signed and it's implemented. Office managers um, have systems set in place, filing systems, data record, making sure that procedures and policies are followed. They monitor like all the processes and how we do things. Like, for instance, in a chiropractic office, what a new patient does, the first step that they enter the office, are we replicating that and making sure they're getting the best possible experience? Is your manager handling all like the customer questions and emails? That way you don't have to. Do they know what to say, or do they know when it's time to ask you? Are they doing staff relations? Like if there's an issue between two staff, like I don't have a lot of time to sit there and listen to both sides of the story, make sure everyone's happy. Luckily that doesn't happen, but what if there was? Like we've all had those difficult staff that they drain us and they take a lot of our time. And again, I would rather be more focused where I can do the biggest impact in my business, and that is working directly one-on-one with the patients and not dealing with some of these little minute things. Or what about if there's a customer that's unhappy with something? Like that's a great thing for an office manager to deal with. That way you don't have to, that we don't have to step away from what you're doing or interrupt your flow of thought. Or for me, like my flow with my patients, just to deal with someone that maybe was unsure of a price or something like that. And then making sure it's a safe and working environment. Again, like the OSHA, are you having like everything like checked and maintained? So I have like a list of requirements of like what I want my office manager to be able to do, right? Are they knowledgeable in this and that and proficient in this and that? So that would probably be something that you would put on a like a list for when you're trying to hire or you're posting. But I like to have that just all here so I can see everything. So what are their skills and proficiencies? Are they delegating? Are they coachable? Are they team working? Do they budget? Do they staff? Are they supervising? Inventory control. That's a big one in our office because I hate when we run out of things. Or like we sell chiropractic pillows. I hate when we have none left because it's going to take at least a week to get more in. And so I need my inventory to be up to date, because if I recommend something for someone and we don't have it here, well, I look stupid. And more importantly, the patient needs it then. They don't need it in a week. They needed it then when I recommended it for them. So like specifics for my office, how they're cross-trained in every department. So I can pull my office manager to help me with the therapy, to do this or that. She does payroll. She does all the reviews. She updates the stats on a daily basis. We send referral thank yous to our patients that refer to us. We have a new patient tracker. So I like to see where every new patient is, where they've come from, where they're going, if they've completed care. And then I want statistics on that every month. And then making sure the staff's doing their jobs. Again, that way, like you don't have to do that. Prepping the books for the days, like for instance, oh, so-and-so's double booked. Great. What are we going to do to accommodate that? Calling the new patients to find out if they've dropped care or why. Like you lose a customer, like what happened? Why? The hiring, the firing, the reviews, ordering packages. We send out a lot and we send a lot of cards and stuff. So making sure like she's doing all that post office and errands and bank deposits, and I don't have to. the calendars of the schedules, all the events that we do at the office, our team meetings that are like weekly and quarterly, any patient relations that we need to do, all the projects, the events, coming to the events, our quarterly meetings, and then just in general, like money management in the office. Like, are we being productive and useful of what we're buying and spending, and or could we cut back on something or find a lesser price, for instance? That would be a great project for your office manager to do, because it doesn't take you as the owner or doctor to do that. Like, someone else can do that for you. And again, you're taking like all this time off your plate that you can put on someone else's plate that would maybe even love it more than you. And then tracking goals, always being ahead. So it should always be up to you to like know what goals you were at, where you should be. Like, our office manager updates us daily, like midday. Like, I want to know where we are with our goals and cheering us on. We use a communication system, like sending like, you did it, good job everyone, or just things like that, like, you did awesome with that rush of patients. So that's a great thing for an office manager, your cheerleader, to do. So if I had to envision, which we like to do, we like to envision what our new staff will look like. So let's just say I was hiring someone. We sit down as a group collective and we envision what this person looks like and like what she dresses like, what are her hobbies, things like that, because this is the type of person that we're going to bring in. So we're going to tell the universe, like, this is the type of person I want to find and interview. So make sure that you are thinking about like what your office manager looks like and does. And for that matter, what about if you're looking at these things and you're like, my office manager doesn't do any of this stuff or barely any of that? Is that the right fit for you and what you need? So he or she could be a great person, but is it the right fit? Or could we like move things around and move these team players to a different position? I was reading a book and they really talked about how it's a team, like a basketball team. And if someone is better suited as a center or a forward or a guard, like, the coach is going to move that team player. It's not up to the team player, like, well, I don't want to be the guard today. Like, too bad, you're on the team now. And the coach said you're going to be the center or the guard. So maybe your team needs to rearrange also. So it doesn't mean that you don't have a good employee. Maybe it's just the right position for the employee, or they didn't have enough direction. So again, this is something that I can help with, is like the direction of like what an office manager should do. So a lot of people are like, well, I don't know, do I need an office manager? What do they do? Like, that's something I can help with as a business coach, is like what they do, what they should do. Or maybe I'm talking to them like every week or every other week along with you. So you're not always doing the coaching calls, but maybe I'm doing the calls with your manager or your potential manager, or that for whoever it is, staff. That way we can get you guys on the right track. And again, think about what are you better suited for with your time? And then how can I help you as your business coach to get the right people in place? That way it's more like plug and play instead of like you having to do everything. I feel like I've had a lot of people lately just a little overwhelmed with a lot on their plate. So like, you don't have to do it all and you can delegate. It's just harder because I am a type A and I do not like to delegate, but I couldn't be where I am today without the delegation and without my team. So I definitely see the need. I've definitely been burned before, right? We've all had maybe a team or an office manager that has burned us, but that doesn't mean that the right fit isn't out there for you. So if this sounds like something that you need and you're like, hey, I need help with an office manager, or I am an office manager and I could use some extra help. And, or you think, you love your office manager, but they need a little kick in the behind sometimes, right? Sometimes when you've had them for years, things just get a little slack and stagnant, and it happens to all of us, right? Even as owners and doctors. And that's what a coach does, is they bring you up and they're like, all right, you are doing great at all of this. We're just going to work on a few of these things. We're going to make this better. We're going to implement all these ideas that you guys have for your office, but you're not implementing them, Or maybe it's not correct. Is it too many ideas? Do you have the procedures and the policies and the step-by-steps set up how to do? Because an office manager can do all of that for you. Maybe they just don't know what to do. Or, I mean, I've definitely had office managers that I moved into the position that had never been an office manager before. So that's going to take a lot of extra coaching. So realize that when you're hiring, if they've never been an office manager, it it's a lot more work on your part, but sometimes it's worth it. But just think, if you could have me on your side helping that office manager and you form the best like practice or business, the flow that you need, and really get things off the ground, because your time is worth more. So let's, put people in the right position, get the money flow in, get the systems and procedures, and let them roll. And they would feel more like powerful and encouraged in that position, that they knew what they were doing. They knew what was you expected them to do, right? So how many times is it lack of communication? I feel like that's like always my issue. If I have an issue, is the lack of communication, right? That could be in family, friends, business, marriage, right? We're always talking about lack of communication. It's the communication. So let me help communicate with you and your office manager, your office staff, of like the what needs to be done, and help you get in charge and get that practice and business going to the fullest potential and kind of what you've dreamed. So again, Hillary, I am with HHJ Consulting. It's just me. I'm HHJ. So I have a website, hhjconsulting.com. And I have a Facebook group, which I'm streaming live into right now. It's called Coaching with Hillary. You can reach out to me there. It's pretty easy. I'm always on Facebook, so send me a message if you have questions or if you want any of these resources. I'll try to make some too and maybe post it. So thank you for watching. I hope that this helped a little bit. I know it was brief and a lot of details, but I was trying to give a quick overview because no one likes watching long broadcasts. See you later.